All right, so we've got another breaking update, 2:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look at this thing. This is evil. This is Erin, now 160 miles per hour, sustained winds gust to 190. If this thing made landfall in the U.S., which we're glad it's not going to, it would be absolutely historic and catastrophic. But you can look in here at that eye. They don't get much more better than that. Now, it's going to go through some eye wall replacements, and when that happens, it'll fluctuate between a category 4 or category 3, back up to a 4 or 5, and then again, because a storm of that magnitude cannot sustain itself for that long at that particular thing. Now, one thing I want to point out to you, and we're not going to scare anybody here, but we have seen just a few of these computer models going a little bit further to the west, just a little bit, still making a safe pass from the U.S. East Coast, but we can see here, again, it's looking very, very healthy on the satellite and the infrared. This is where the higher cloud tops indicate the darker. Look at that. Those are 70, 80,000 cloud tops there. And it still has a very good inflow and outflow, but we can see now in the last few frames that the eye is moving just north of west. So that's good news, but we need to see more of this. We need to see this move more like that. Okay, so here's a straight line, and you can see how it's moving just north of west. So we call it west northwest. Okay, and so we need this thing to start turning, but a huge storm like that's going to take a little while to turn. So once that turn takes place, we can all finally breathe a sigh of relief. And like I said, I'm pretty confident it's not going to affect the East Coast directly. But you could have some showers and gusty winds on Hatteras. They get everything that comes by because they stick out like a sore thumb. All the computer models now, they were underplayed this. They were saying Category 4 is a Category 5 in 24 hours. Yesterday it was a tropical storm. When it goes like that, we call it bombogenesis. It bombs out, literally. And that is the earliest Category 5 that we've had in August since 2007, would you believe? Now, let's look at the very latest here of the computer model. So this is spaghetti-models.com. I love this website. So let's go over here to the GFS, and we're going to go here again, and we're going to take a look at the very, very latest here. All right, and again, the GFS, get that image off there. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. The GFS model is a very reliable model that we look at as well. And here it has that system right there, but it's showing it a little bit north of where it actually is right now. But we move it forward a little bit, and you can see it'll go ever so slightly towards the Florida coast, and then move north, and then eventually northeastward away from the U.S. But we do have the other system that we are going to continue to watch here throughout the days ahead. That's still showing a possible hurricane over the Florida Keys, and then a powerhouse storm over the Gulf states. But that's a long way away. Erin was even saying it was going to hit the East Coast at first. So there's too many factors at play. But with that being said, we are now going to go to the European model. All right, and this is the most reliable of all the models. All right, and we're watching this go a little bit north of west here. We can push it forward. And can you tell everybody and their mother is on this? All the weather people are on this website. So that's why you're seeing that little circular thing. So we're going to go back a little bit and go a little bit further like there. And this is where it's showing the storm right here. And then you see that the Euro is kind of bombing the storm out. Look at that. It's a 930, 935, 937. The storm's down to 917 millibars. Okay? So that tells you how strong and powerful that this storm is. And again, here it comes the storm again. Get the tools out here, get that one out, and we're going to do the yellow one. There we go. So here it comes, and it's going to do due north, out this way. So you're going to have a lot of waves coming in here, especially in Hatteras. We're going to have 10-foot waves, 50-foot waves in the center of circulation, some gusty winds at the coast of Hatteras. But right now, let's have a look to the center, but maybe some showers. And here in the Tidewater, got some beach erosion. Well, that happens all the time anyway. It's just going to be like maybe when you have a nor'easter that doesn't make landfall and everything. But that's that one right there. So let's go back. And now we're looking at the Canadian model. This is another very good, reliable model that we look at when we're forecasting storms and trends here. And we'll move it forward a little bit, and you can see in the Canadian model here, this one as well, bringing it northward and out to sea, making a very safe pass away from the United States, right there. Okay. It does pick up on another system that could be forming as well, but we will see what happens with that. But again, the CMC Canadian model is forecasting a comfortable pass past the Mid-Atlantic. Hopefully that's how it's going to remain and whatnot. But down there in Puerto Rico and the San Juan Virgin Islands there, you could be having some problems here. Tropical storm conditions, very likely there. Now, we're looking at the icon. This is the lesser of the reliable models, and this it has it at 957. Well, these have downplayed the storm. The lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. It's now 917. It doesn't have here going 917, so it gets parallel to Florida. And this is the furthest west that I've seen. And in this particular case here, to move that back just a little bit. All right. And then you can see what I'm talking about. And you're going to be talking about, as it comes and approaches the area, onshore winds right here, just for Hatteras and whatnot. But wow, what a close call. Look at that storm, how it's going to be. So that's what we're looking at right now at the very latest here. Now, let me show you one more thing here. And again, the computer model is all still in agreement that it's going to move out away from the coastal areas. But the impacts are still going to be high surf and some beach erosion, some overwash. Now let's look at the visible satellite here, and we're going to look at this. Just look at that eye. And you can see what I'm talking about there. It's heading west, and just at the last minute, it starts going just north of west. So we need this thing to start turning a little more than it is right now. That's a fact. So we need that to happen. So right now you see it's coming this way, just about right there. So we need it to start going about like this because it's such a huge storm. So we're going to continue to monitor the trends here. But either way, what an amazing storm. It's beautiful to look at on satellite, but let me tell you, you don't want to be under this thing.